My family's financial independence number is 4.1 million, and I could probably have that by moving out of NS and back to Singapore, not having a car, and that is something that we're not choosing to do right now. Today, I am going to share more about my family's financial independence journey. Previously, as I started this channel, it's mostly focused about finance as well as budgeting. So I think it will be a good opportunity to share that right now. And also, I've received this comment from someone who has seen me transition from a single person to a family of 4. I believe many of you who have started following me probably is going through the same life stage as well. So I would just like to share a take on my family's perspective. As a quick introduction, my name is Ying and I've been married for about 5 years. Initially, I have no plans for kids, and now I have 2 young toddlers. Before having kids, I was someone who optimized every little spend that I have, budget everything, as well as looking at the different credit cards to maximize your cashback or miles gain. And also, I will only buy things on discounts. So I will never pay full price for a lot of things like my clothes and whatever gadgets that I have. And I always receive like a cheap thrill whenever I can save that 1 cent. On Shopback where you go on Taobao and you can click the save button, and that's sometimes you can only save like 1 cent to 3 cents, and I will literally click that. So that's the type of effort that I will go into in order to save that couple of cents. But of course, having kids changed my entire mindset and view about what money is. Like before, I would spend 30 minutes walking, save like that $2 on the bus ride. Instead, clock 10,000 steps on my HPB app in order to get the points for the vouchers. And now I will pay to get that 30 minutes back into my life, either to spend on my kids or on projects that I love. Being a mom in this era also meant that you have to juggle career prospect as well as being present for your kids. So the thing that I'm short of right now isn't money, but time. Here's the struggle triangle. At every stage of life, you get 2, either health, wealth, or time. Rarely you can get 3. So when you're young, you have great health, not a lot of wealth, and a lot of time. And sometime in your mid-30s, you'll still be healthy. You probably get richer, you're still wealthy, you become wealthy. And if you're a parent, the triangle will probably look like this. You don't get a lot of time because your time are split between working as well as providing for your kids, and you don't really have time for yourself. And hopefully in old age, when you're retired, you will be rich. You will have a lot of time. But likely, your health will not be as great as before. And what I've realized is that out of all 3 resources, money is the only one that could go back to increase over time or decrease, but it can come back. Health and time, on the other hand, is sort of like a decreasing asset over time. You can't make more of it. So therefore, time is the one that I am balancing and prioritizing now, because it's the only resource that I couldn't really get back, especially with my 2 young kids. So here's the breakdown. Our family's current financial independence is about 4.1 million, and this is based on the 4% rule. My family is currently spending about $13,550 per month. And here's the breakdown. Housing, it is about 5,500, and this is split between network school, which is about 4,050, as well as my current HDB mortgage, which is 1,450. So housing is pretty much the bulk of the cost. Transportation is pretty high because we own a car, and we get it also because we have 2 young kids. Commuting will be much more easier with that, and also because we are always commuting from Singapore to network school and network school back. So we drive a lot, it's pretty well utilized, and the good thing is that we pump our petrol in JB, so we get to save quite a bit on that. And other things like my kids' diapers, consumables are mostly bought in JB as well, so the running cost is not as high as we are in Singapore. And then right now, I don't really spend as much as before. Mostly because I work from home, I don't have to spend on upkeep of my appearances too much, buying new clothes and stuff like that. And if I were to be single right now, my expenses will be around 3,000 to 4,000 per month. And also because I probably be getting my own place, probably a HDB that makes up some part of the cost as well. That would put my individual FI number to be around 1.2 million. So right now with my family, it's about 4 times that with 2 kids. So looking at where the money goes, it will be pretty simple to cut the budget by removing network school, removing the transport, as well as returning to Singapore so that we could attend the childcare here. Childcare here in Singapore is much more affordable because we are being subsidized quite a bit by the Singapore government. Unlike in Malaysia, childcare is not being subsidized, and it's common to see children only attending school at 4 years old. However, we're choosing not to cut this budget because right now our choices are not optimizing towards wealth and building FI. FI was my goal when I was single because there was really nothing that I could work towards other than in my job and my career. And of course, it buy options where I could stop working anytime that I like and choose a job that I really like. But right now, I'm optimizing for my family. I want to have time with my kids. I want to be healthy for them as long as possible. And as much as possible, I want to provide them with as much choices as they can. So in terms of jingles, he has actually stopped working for someone. Instead, he is currently an entrepreneur, and he started doing a couple of side hustles during COVID as well. And that side hustle eventually developed into a business for him. Now that the business is stable, he has started working for another startup as a CTO. Being at NS, he had actually opened doors for him to join another startup. Ever since he has become an entrepreneur, realized that he will no longer go back to an employee because of the amount of freedom that he can get in terms of making the choices of what he wants his product to be, as well as time. Being at network school helped us to open doors, to meet cool people, to dream bigger, and to find opportunities for ourselves. And not just that, my kids get to hang out with these people all the time. So the other day, we had a hackathon of sorts for the young kids, and my son made his first game. And I think that it matters that we are here because AI is going to change fundamentally how we live, how we work, how my child learn in the future. And being around these people who are relentlessly learning, building, and creating helps. People here are high agency, meaning that they see a problem, they go solve it, they go learn about it. And that's great for me because I get to learn from such people as well. This type of energy rubs off on you, and I want my kids to be part of that. And as for me, my job is amazing because I still work from home, I don't have commute, and I get the time to spend with my kids. And here's the honest part. After having 2 kids, I learned that I am someone who will not be able to stay at home. I don't think I could ever be a stay-at-home mom. I don't personally enjoy housework, and I find that child rearing, taking care of children, takes up way more of my energy than just going to work. So moms who are full-time moms, full-time homemakers, I genuinely respect. So for me, I actually look forward to working during the weekdays because that's my me time. And as I reflect on this, I feel that it's pretty funny because when I was single, I always looked forward to the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, hanging out with my friends. Now, as a parent, it's the other way around. Weekends is the time where I have to spend all my energy taking care of my kids, being there for them, and then going back to work to sort of recharge during the weekdays. So yeah, it's quite funny. And the biggest question over here is, why do we continue to live this double life, both in Singapore and in Malaysia? We basically travel back to Singapore every weekends and live our weekdays in Malaysia, which is the opposite of many people. And part of why is because I feel that right now I'm at the tail end of many things. So there's this author, Tim Urban, who wrote this article. He's a blogger who blogs at Wait But Why. So the article calls it the tail end. He wrote about how brief our life actually are and how precious each moments are. So I built this interactive map to show how much time we actually left, and this is basically a rough illustration of how it is. And of course, it can slightly vary. By the time your child turns 3, you have probably used up about 1/3 of all the in-person waking time you've ever spent with them. And by the time they start primary school, around 6 or 7, you are probably at around half the time. Half the time in their entirety to spend with them, not half their childhood. And by the time when they leave home at 18, you have used up about 93% of your in-person time with them. That's crazy. And everything after that is pretty much the 7% remaining time you have with your kids. And if you turn that the other way around, for you, if you're in your 30s, you probably have about 8 months of time with your parents. Yeah, so yeah, there's not much time left, right? So when you actually visualize this, the time that you have left with your family, your kids, your friends, you realize that there isn't much right now. And that's what made me decide to live the double life, at least this stage of my life, because weekdays I'll be in NS, and then weekends I still get to spend time with my friends, families, as well as my kids in Singapore. Another thing is that we do go back to church on Sundays, so this entire arrangement actually works out pretty well for us. I'm also a pretty sentimental person. I love keeping like different pockets of memories, and with my kids, I have started on a 5-year journal, and every day I will just write one thing about each kid, something we did, something we noticed, and I'll take a photo of them every single day. I really want to cherish, every single day, the moment. So having a 5-year diary actually helps me to look at it. Essentially, I would like to have each photo every year on that day they are at. So it's literally like the Facebook memories, but in real life. The other day, as I was chatting with my husband Jingles, we talked about the ROI of having kids. I said that the kids are the worst ROI right now. Like in our parents' time, having kids is a path to securing your retirement. But having kids now, it's to delay your retirement. But I realized that having kids right now allows us to see life more holistically, and that we are more motivated in pursuing the things that we want to pursue right now. Also give us a reason to look for good opportunities, to work smarter, and to work more efficiently. Okay, let's talk about the future. In the next 2 years or so, I am projecting our real FI number would probably climb closer to about 6 million. And that is if our decision is to stay at network school for the next 5 to 10 years as our kid starts formal schooling. The reason is because we do plan to send them to a private school, and that will actually increase the cost. But we are still weighing it right now, deciding whether to return to Singapore for our kids' education, because Singapore education is the best. Best for us because it is affordable, it is high quality, and the teachers are generally much more passionate than you can get elsewhere, and highly educated. So as for hitting the 4 million, let's say if I am targeting 4 million in terms of our financial independence number, I think we could reach there in 15 years or less. By then we'll be in our 50s, hopefully in good health, and it's still before the recommended retirement age. So probably we could spend time, I would imagine, as a couple to travel around. By then our kids would probably be closer to be in university as well. So to wrap up, we're still working towards FI, but it's not our current priority, and it's not how we steer our choices by. We currently made our choice based on our kids and what we think the maximum opportunity lies. As you can see, it is reflected in our spending. But this trade-off is worth it, at least for the current stage of our lives. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you want to see next. See you in the next one. Bye.